So the Indiana Fever are coming into next season, and there's all talk about certain players, what they're going to be doing. There's talk about who's going to make that final roster spot. Is it going to be a big issue with them having 12 players throughout the entire, or 11 players for quite a lot of the season? Because there's 44 games now, and teams are really looking to go in with 12 more so than going in with 11, because they don't want any situation where like they're gonna have to be down with 9 players. Is the rotation gonna have to be bigger? And all of those conversations, or a lot of those conversations, are being caused because of this dumb contract. Because of Lynn Dunn. Lynn Dunn. Like, again, I actually understand the Erica Wheeler contract. For 2 years, I don't. But like, why did they give Katie Lou Samuelson a 2-year max? Like, it has screwed this team. Like, it's actually screwed them. Like, they are in such a bad position. And I also don't understand why the Golden State Valkyries didn't bite the bullet on this trade. Because the Valkyries, obviously, they're not trying to win. But, like, from their perspective, the best thing the Valkyries could have done is you couldn't have got a 2026 first. Maybe Fever want to keep their first round pick next year. But you could have gotten picks, the 3rd round pick and pick 19. You could have got one of the Fever's 2 picks, and you could have got 19, and you could have got one of their 2 second round picks and a 3rd round pick, and maybe next year's 2nd round pick. You could have gotten something like that for a trade, just to take on Katie Lou Samuelson's contract. Because the Valkyries are nowhere near the limit, by the way. They're nowhere near, and like Jacide is not coming over. They could have gotten another rookie in that 2nd round alongside Sellers that would have made the team. But at the end of the day, this contract handicapped the Fever so badly, and especially with how they lost Katie Lou Samuelson. Like, they had to replace her with a minimum contract player. Why did they? I'm just still in shock, because this is one of the worst contracts I've seen. I've never seen a max contract be given to someone. And to be fair, but like, it made no sense at the time. It made no sense whatsoever at the time. Because Katie Lou Samuelson did not suit Caitlin Clark. If you look at the players that played really well with Clark, it was rim running bigs, pick and roll bigs, rim running bigs, and runners. Why Katie Lou Samuelson was brought in. And I think Katie Lou Samuelson was good for team chemistry. But why a 2-year deal? For a slow, not even combo forward, a slow Ryan Anderson type who doesn't have a position in the WNBA, is too slow to play the 3, is too weak to play the 4, who, again, if you're looking at her stats for her career, who has shot above 35% from 3, twice in her career, and it took an entire year off for because of pregnancy. And okay, cool, she was good with the Sparks. She took a year off, and she literally came in as a starter. They paid her a max contract to come in and start. And as you can see, like 32 minutes. In fairness, 5, 10, 7 points starting off the year wasn't too bad. But like, you can see, as her minutes start dropping. And then they decided to replace her with Christy freaking Wallace. And in fairness, she did start playing a little bit more towards the Olympic break. But like, she made, if I'm not wrong, this is free throws, yeah. She made 2 field goals between the first game back after the Olympic break and the very last regular season game. She scored 2 field goals. And in fairness, she scored a few after that. Like 103, 04, 01. And it's not even just talking about how poor she was. It just wasn't even the right fit for Caitlin Clark. Like, if you look at, I'm just going to look at 2023 or 2024 WNBA free agents. Like, it was such a dumb decision time. And it screwed them right now. It has actually screwed them in the year 2026. They're going to be bad in 2025 because they paid Katie Lou Samuelson a max. Like, look at all the free agents. They paid Katie Lou Samuelson an average. If we want to look at the free agents in 2024, they paid her $355K. Kalani Brown's a 3-year deal. So they paid her the same amount as Courtney Williams got paid. Courtney Williams is 100 times better. They paid her less than more than Steph Dolson. They paid her quite a lot more than Beck Allen, who was just better than her. They paid her so much more than Alana Smith. And by the way, if you look at Caitlin Clark, the perfect player to bring in was Alana Smith. But no, obviously she went to the Lynx, who weren't meant to be that good, so you can't even say that. They even brought in the wrong Samuelson. Carly Samuelson would have been better. Anyone else on a 2-year deal that could have been better for them? And if you wanted shooting, why not just try to get Rachel Banham? Why not try to bring in Rachel Banham if you just wanted shooting? But I'm looking through. To be fair, there wasn't that many free agents in 2024. But like Monique Billings would have been a perfect player to play with Caitlin Clark. She would have been. Honestly, Monique Billings would have been a perfect player. It makes zero sense why they went for Katie Lou Samuelson even at the time, and it's really hurting them now, because the debates for Bree Hall and the debates for all of these players, this debate wouldn't be happening. Bree Hall would be on the team. Like, Bree Hall would be on the team. Michaela Timpson would be on the team. We wouldn't be having these conversations if the team didn't have to buy Katie Lou Samuelson out of what was the worst contract in the WNBA. So the team's going out with 11 players. The team is like really out there struggling just because they could not get off this contract. They could not get off this contract. I say worse, but maybe Rachel Banham's was worse. Rachel Banham's a really bad contract. But it's going to be really tough to see how... Like, it's going to be... Or not even really tough to see how the Fever deal with this, but everything would have been so much easier. So much easier had they been able to get off this contract. And I still can't believe they couldn't find a team to bite. I really can't believe they could not find a team to bite and give up a couple of first round, give up a couple of picks, and take Katie Lou's contract. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree that this has been a huge problem for the Fever? Because I know some people that are like, oh, why do you have to keep talking about Katie Lou? Why are you talking about this? Like, it's not her. She did not pay herself a max contract. Let's blame Lynn Dunn. We're not blaming Katie Lou for this. You just took a max contract. She did what she could do. She tried. That's all I'm going to say is she tried. And I do think had the team not brought in Dewana Bonner, she would have been a fine bench player. However, they still wouldn't have been able to get 12 players if they didn't bring in... Oh, no. Would they have? Maybe they would have, actually, if they didn't bring in Bonner. But, yeah, it is an interesting one. And I don't blame Katie Lou for any of this, by the way. I don't blame Katie Lou. She put in effort. She tried. She seemed like a good teammate. She just wasn't very good last season. And it does not help that she was being paid what she was being paid. And she was so poor that they couldn't even give her away. They couldn't even attach picks to give her away. Teams are probably asking for a Lexi Hall or a first to take Katie Lou's contract, which would have been mad. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.